I like to mention European universities are benchmark for vocational university. They benchmark 8 qualifications. The 4 important are attributes, knowledge, skill, and competence. Next, we should focus on research. National Research Foundation, NRF. There should not be any difference between government or private institution or government institution. Because collaboration is needed between academia, industry, government, and social. I request AIC to form a portal which can connect all these 4. So professors can work on these issues and submit the projects. Students' perspective, how to get good quality of students. Faculty perspective, process perspective. Accreditation is very important. Nowadays, NIRF and other NBA accreditation is very important. Research perspective, how to motivate the faculty in research. International perspective, particularly NIRF and QS ranking, they ask for foreign faculty and foreign. If you go for patent. The patent should go for commercial product. It should be useful for the society. It's called socially inclusive. Finance perspective, you have to work out the budget. In fact, VIT got IOE, but they ask for the budget. How will you do in 10 years, 5 years? Budget is very important. Benchmark perspective. Benchmark is very important. Always you should have a target. Each institution have a target. They should achieve their target. They should fix the goal. In 5 years, where will be? In 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So this is all a few observation I have this new education policy. I hope this conclave will be useful for you. Thank you.
As per the new national education policy, in the future, the 10+2 system is going to be changed into 5+3+3+4. The last 4 years are going to be equivalent of today's 9th, 10th and 11th and 12th. Because in the new system, this education will start at the age of 3 instead of 6. So that last 4 years is from present equivalent 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Today, after 10th standard, when students get into 11th and 12th, either they do it in the school itself or they go to a college and do this 11th, 12th as a pre-university education. But they are compartmentalized as arts stream, commerce stream and science stream. In the future, when this policy is fully implemented, those 4 years will not have anything called arts, commerce, science. A student would be able to take some courses of science and some courses of commerce, some courses of arts. During that time, if someone has left out, suppose some chemistry or some physics, he cannot be debarred from entering into an engineering education, because all of us know that at that young age of 14, when he is at the standard 8th class, that student would not be able to take a judgment as to whether he should become a scientist or an engineer or an architect or a pharmacist, or whether he should become a BCom graduate and get into accountancy and finance, or whether he has to become a psychologist or a philosopher. That decision making at that young age of 14 would be very difficult, and many of them would have taken whatever at that point in time interested them. So after those 4 years, if someone wants to change from that to a different discipline, the flexibility that is required is being built in advance. Today, whatever we have said may not be used by probably anyone or maybe by very few. For example, today also, all our entrance exams in the country, whether it is JEE of the IITs or CETs in the respective states, they are all conducted based on physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology. PCM for engineering admissions, PCB for medical admissions. This is going on. And in some states like Tamil Nadu, where there is no entrance exam, the marks of the 11th, 12th standard are taken into account, but still subjects taken into account are PCM or PCB for the respective education. This will not change overnight, but in the 11th and 12th, already CBSE as well as many state boards, open schooling, national open schooling, they have added over a period of time large number of courses other than physics, chemistry, math and biology, even for science stream students. For example, electronics, computer programming, engineering, graphics, maybe tomorrow artificial intelligence, robotics. These courses being taught in the 11th and 12th. And when student has taken such courses, he would have probably left out chemistry course or might have left out physics course. How can we say that no, you did not do chemistry, now you can't come? Again, go back to 8th standard onwards and study and then come back. This is not going to be practiced in the future, and therefore now itself we have started doing it. Suppose a student in 11th and 12th has not taken chemistry, he must be doing it in the first year of engineering. Whether he does before getting admission or just after getting admission, how does it matter? As long as he starts his second year of education of engineering with all the preparation, all the preparedness, as the prerequisite requirement is satisfied, there is no problem. So probably more required in the future than in the past. But when do you do, that flexibility is brought in. This is just opening up an extra window for those who had missed the bus at the 11th and 12th standard. He will be or she will be in a position to catch up the bus. We normally say you have missed the bus. So now we are saying, no, even if you have missed the bus, you run a little bit, because you have to put in some extra effort and then catch up the bus. That don't we find on the train, metro. So naturally, those mathematics, those physics, those chemistry require some prerequisite physics, prerequisite mathematics. Either you do it in the 11th and 12th in the school or the pre-university college, or you come into the engineering college and in the first year you do it. And another important thing, those who have left out either the physics or chemistry, they would have taken either engineering drawing, they would have taken computer programming, they would have taken electronics, they would have taken AI, they would have taken robotics, which is all hardcore engineering. So in engineering curriculum, wherever these courses are there, why should he repeat? You give waiver to him. See, you have done already programming, why in the first year again do computer programming? You already know it. Instead of programming, which you have already done in 11th and 12th, you will be given waiver for computer programming, but you had not done one physics course. Please do physics course in the first year. As simple as that. Is that clear?
So, and also with respect to the Higher Education Commission, does it now take away the state's autonomy?
No, why should it take that? Why?
So what would be the role of the state once the Higher Education Commission is set?
Whatever is stated is a possible provision. Provision does not mean mandatory. Yes, it is model curriculum is also not mandatory. It is a framework which we have provided because many universities were not revising the curriculum. So we gave a standard curriculum. Each university, each state can change depending on their requirement, local needs, changes in that and then adopt it. Same way, even though we have said physics, chemistry, maths and 14 subjects, if a particular university or the state decides out of this 14, we will restrict to only some 5 out of them. That is their choice. We have not said...
The subject choices.
No, but higher education, what do you want?
Higher Education Commission, once it's set up, would that remove the state autonomy when the 4 regulatory bodies...
Where is the... Today also there are regulatory bodies. Is the autonomy affected? Today UGC is there. In fact, today there is more stricture. Actually, sometimes in some educational institutions on the states, a standard example I many times give is a deemed university running a pharmacy program or an architecture program had to go to first deemed university is given by UGC, so they have to be answerable to UGC because pharmacy or the architecture program is run. So Council of Architecture and Pharmacy Council of India accountable. Then AICT Act also had this. Now Supreme Court has taken off temporarily, but otherwise till 2 years back we were giving approval, and without our approval colleges were not able to run them. So they have to come to AICT. So there was, in fact, the autonomy was less in the earlier part. Now they have to go to one single agency for seeking the approval, and that is that HEC has one of the verticals which is taking care of.
Government, University Grant Commission to deal with every day the fast changing COVID-19 situation from March 26, 2020 onwards. Every week or every day we have been receiving the circulars issued by I'd like to appreciate the practical approach and the flexibility adopted by the regulatory bodies so that they could handhold with the institutions, both private sector and public sector institutions. Friends, EPSI believes that the dream of making India a 5 trillion economy and a self-reliant economy, Prime Minister has named it in Sanskrit Atmanirbhar Bharat. The road education, particularly higher and technical education, unless we are able to produce talented engineers, managers, scientists, pharmacists, doctors, teachers, and also administrators, we cannot compete globally. And who can learn new skills? Learn new skills after every third or fifth year, because the situation has changed.